Hi, Chef Lou here, and I'm going to teach you how to do this for Thanksgiving. I'm here today to prepare a Thanksgiving meal for you and help you with some do's and don'ts for the holiday to make it easier on you. What we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you how to brine a turkey, which is very important. I'll tell you why. Cook a turkey properly, roast it properly, and then carve it properly. Again, some do's and don'ts, and one of the do's is you must brine your turkey. It's not a choice. I have some fresh bay leaf here, some fresh rosemary, some marjoram, fresh sage, some shallot. I have some light brown sugar, and I have about a cup and a half of salt. Very simple, very quick. So all you're gonna need to do is put all of this together in one bowl. All right? So I have some fresh shallot. I have some rosemary, some marjoram, some black peppercorn, sage, and I have about 4 or 5 fresh bay leaves. All right, we're gonna add the salt, half the salt. So with this hot water, and we're gonna make a base for our brine. So just real simple, nothing complicated. Hot water on the stove. Smells wonderful. We're gonna add some sugar, a little light brown sugar. What you wanna do is get this very cold. You can add ice to this. You can put it in the refrigerator. We need to prepare our turkey for this brine, so we're gonna let this cool down. This has never been frozen. It's an all-natural bird, which is very important, I believe. I'm gonna open that up. We wanna just give it a good rinse. You see these things that they put in here? Throw it away. No good. They're wrong every time. So our brine has cooled, and I have here our brining vessel. It's just a simple bucket. I have the herbs and the brown sugar salt water brine. It is cooled, and I have a bucket filled with cold water. It's very important that it is cold, like I said before. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the turkey cavity side down. I want to engulf the turkey. I want to make sure that it's inside the cavity. Okay? Lower the turkey. Again, making sure all the air is out, which I have just done. Very simple process. And now let's add the flavor. And just pour that in. Like I said, it must be cold. The turkey is submerged. So we have submerged the turkey. It's in that flavored saltwater sugar brine with fresh herbs. And we should do it 1 pound per hour. So at minimum, for this bird at 12 pounds, is 12 hours. Here we are, 12 hours later. We have our turkey. It's been sitting, bathing in that brine, soaking up that saltwater sugar solution, the fresh herbs. But now we have to rinse it off, and rinse it off fairly well. The salt has attached to the skin, so that's very important that we carefully take this out. Let it drain. And you want to wash that bird very good, getting the salt off the surface. And now we're going to take her to the roasting pan. Okay, so we now have our dried bird. We have our neck from yesterday, from when we pulled the bird. We're gonna leave that right inside the roasting pan. And we have our giblets. That comes in a bag. We're just gonna tear open that bag and just drop it into the pan, because it makes an excellent stock for the gravy later. You do need a thermometer, a thermometer, if you would in this country. I know that about 2 hours in is when we'll puncture the bird at that area of the deepest part of the thigh. And then we'll ride it to 160, 162, and then we'll watch it come to 165, and then it's finished. So first things first. You see the pictures of them tying the bird? That's called trussing the bird, okay? Trussing the turkey. Well, you don't do that. Grandma did that, and she screwed up, because that makes it cook uneven. Okay, you want the bird to be wide open. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're also going to take the bird, take the wing fold it under. Take the other wing, fold it under. Get over there. Very simply. Okay? So now we have our bird, wings tucked under, legs down. So now we have to get the butter into it. So I have some softened butter, some fresh herbs. You need fresh herbs because what we want to do is take that little step that's rarely taken. And I'm going to show you, this will be the star. Just run a quick chop through that. So you have fresh herbs right into your butter. No salt. Do not add salt. The salt is in the bird. Lemon zest. Now we're almost ready to go in the oven, but let's take this one step. So what you want to do is just find your fingers inside the skin here on top of the breast. And you got two pockets. You got those two, and you have these two. So you just want to get your fingers, just work your fingers. You don't want to pierce the skin. Okay? See? And very simple. You go up the business end, find that breast, peel it back off of the skin. Now let's make room for this. So you have your soft butter. You're going to watch, fill that cavity, and then you're going to press it in right on top of that breast. What that does is keep it extra moist, and typically an area gets very dry. Okay, that's this side. Now you want to go on the other side. And that's what sinks are for. You're going to wash your hands, but this step makes it worth it. So now you're going to rub the rest of the bird. We have prepared our turkey. One final step we need to do is create the atmosphere for the turkey. So what we're going to do is add some moisture inside the cavity. Never stuff a turkey. That's another don't. So what I did was just simply take a lemon, get some of that goodness in there, half of an apple, then I'll take half an onion and reserve this onion for our stuffing later. And very simply just chop that up real big and coarse. And over the time we're going to be cooking this bird, you'll hear 18-20 minutes per pound, but this is a brined bird. Typically they cook faster by a half an hour. So we're going to set it at 16 minutes a pound, 325 degrees, and we're going to keep an eye on it after 2 hours. In cooking, especially with proteins, basting is very important. We do it a la minute on the line at the restaurant, and through this process of the turkey is simply drying out. It's in the oven drying, it's trying to dry out. So what you want to do is keep putting that moisture back on. Anything that you cook, the mass of it, just imagine all these little guys in there, these little food tasty molecule guys, they're happy where they're at. But once that heat starts to penetrate, they want to run to the center. So they're away from where the heat's coming from, going to the center. Once that center heats up, it wants out. So now they're going to head the other way. Okay, so imagine them running the other way. You have to catch it or turn the heat off when they decide, just before they want to decide to run out. As long as you cook the turkey, is the exact same time the turkey should rest. And that's without a doubt a fact. You want those juices to go back, and when you carve that turkey, the hot gravy is going to penetrate, and it's going to be the best turkey you ever had. If you don't have stock in the house, and I don't have turkey stock, to be honest, but sometimes when I do make a chicken, my wife makes a chicken, she'll save the parts. I'll grab some vegetables from the refrigerator, make a quick stock, throw it in the refrigerator downstairs, reserve for a later time. But I wanted to use a turkey stock here. We're going to make a beautiful gravy later. So we're just going to add about 1.5 cups into our pan. Again, our oven is at 325, and let's just add a little flavor, a little bit of white wine. I think the cameraman wants some, so I'm gonna save that for later. And now it's time to go to the oven at 325 degrees, 16 minutes a pound. My math's right, it's 2.5, 3 hours. 3 hours because it's brine, so we're gonna reduce it. But we'll let the thermometer tell us that about 2 hours in. Okay, so throughout our process, we really have to pay attention to, again, the moisture. It's very important. It's a big part of Thanksgiving is the turkey. You don't want a dry turkey. One of these is called a baster. Extract from the pan drippings and just drape it over the top. Do that 2 or 3 times throughout cooking. Okay, it's been about 2.5 hours. Our bird is reading 162 degrees, so let's get it out of the oven. Excellent. Nice and crispy. Beautifully done. Juice is running clear. So I think we have an award-winning bird here. So now we have to carve the bird. So let's do that right now. I'm going to help you with some decision making. She's rested for about the same amount of time that she cooked for. Remember that fact. You can use these pieces here to do many sorts of gravies, all different types. We reserved and did it a different way, but so this is out. Now you could present the bird, cut it, and layer it out. Shingle is my preference. So what I do is I take it right to the backbone and find that backbone, go next to it, and go straight down 1 cut, 2 cuts, nice slice all the way down through the leg. Okay? You want to feel that bone. Now I want to go next to the leg and the breast and follow that down as well. Once I get down to the front, I want to make a turn back to the breast. I want this breast to come out in one piece, okay? And just let it fall. One breast out. Very simple. Find the other side. With a nice slice. Again, you want to, it'll almost give it to you. Look at that perfect meat. Beautifully juicy. Again, following that leg. 2 breasts deboned. Beautiful white meat. So now, you want to just pull that leg down. You want to hear it almost come off the joint. Okay? See that ball joint comes right out? This is very good meat to carve. Leave that there. Come here to the other side, do the same thing. Just pull that down, comes right out. Another sign the turkey's done. The dark meat will have a hue to it, a dark hue, like an amber hue. Perfectly done. So now you're left with both breasts are taken off leg and thigh. So you have the wing. Just snap that out. Not too hard to handle. And snap that out. Now we've taken everything we can from this bird. Now let's carve the bird down. Clean your board. Nice and clear, the juices. Again, another sign the turkey's done. Take a breast. You're going to want to cut from this side, okay? Keeping the skin intact. Beautifully rested. My favorite is the dark meat. I hope you've learned something and have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining.